All right, I want to welcome back three-time Northeast Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion tonight, Brian Anthony, along with his advocate, Stevie Stamos. Guys, welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome for us being here, but I want to correct you on two things. First of all, advocate, probably not the right word. I prefer the word friend when you talk about Stevie Stamos. And secondly, three-time Northeast Wrestling Champion is great, but if you could throw the word only in front of that, that'd be even better.
You got
the only
only
three-time Northeast Wrestling Champion, along with his friend, Showtime Stevie Stamos. That sounds a lot better.
I think it sounds great. Great ring to it. Only three-time champ, and of course, friend, because let's face it, that's why we're here, Brian, because you and I are friends. Unlike some people who take advantage of my kindness and the opportunities I give them, and then when it's convenient for them, call, and when it's not convenient for them, don't call. Quite frankly, those people are not my friends, and that's why we're in the position we're in.
Definitely.
All right, and with that said, carry on.
Now, guys, breaking news. It was just announced Eddie Edwards will be your opponent for this Saturday in Waterbury, Connecticut, at the Waterbury PAL Center for Autumn Ambush. It's the title versus title, the Northeast Wrestling Championship for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. What are your thoughts about this? Because you were scheduled to face Jeff Hardy, and now we're having a title versus title match.
I hope that as I guided you to, you made room on that illustrious mantle in your lovely, lovely home for the TNA heavyweight title. Because let's face it, after Saturday, you're going to need room for two belts. And maybe the TNA title is just that, a decoration, because let's face it, that company is pretty much extinct. So maybe it'll look nice on your mantle as a memory of something that used to be. Maybe you, Brian Anthony, alongside me, will be the ones to finally kill TNA.
My thoughts exactly. I was just going to tell the world, all the Northeast Wrestling fans, and even Steve Credo, that I've moved the Northeast Wrestling Championship slightly to the left and left plenty of room on the mantle for the TNA World Championship. But that's besides the point. We all know the belts are going to look great up there. Me and you are going to spend many a night hanging out, staring at the belts, telling the world how great we are. But the fact of the matter is this. It doesn't matter what building in Waterbury. It doesn't matter who I'm wrestling in Waterbury, because as much as I would love to beat up Jeff Hardy, and the world knows that I would, I not only would make him obsolete, I would not only break him, I would shatter him. I would turn Jeff Hardy into a form of obsolete that he would never come back from. Not even his brother, broken Matt Hardy, would be able to reconform Jeff Hardy. But that's the past. The present is Brian Anthony and Eddie Edwards, Northeast Wrestling Championship, TNA World Championship. Whether it's Wilby High School, Crosby High School, any other high school across America, or the Waterbury PAL, where this show is going to be now, Brian Anthony's going to win. He's going to show the world, and he's going to show Northeast Wrestling why he is the only, yep, I said only, count it, you could put a 3 with an X after it, champ. 3-time and champ.
Funny, Brian, because I also want to point out that even though there's no doubt that we will win the TNA Heavyweight Championship, it's really secondary. See, there's a lot of guys running around Northeast Wrestling these days that like to boast about what they do for other companies, other rings of honor, other total nonstop actions. But let's face it, Brian Anthony, the reason that you are the only 3-time heavyweight champion in Northeast Wrestling is because you are the only guy in Northeast Wrestling that can put the company on his back and carry it when these other lowlifes mooch off of the fans, mooch off of the promotion, mooch off of the fame they get. And the first chance they get, what do? They hightail it somewhere else for a little bit more money and come back and sell T-shirts.
Now, Stevie, I have a question for you because you, as a manager, as probably an advocate for a lot of these other guys, you've been associated with a lot of other championships. Does that just go to show the kind of manager maybe you are to be able to work with all these guys and to bring all these championships to them?
Face it, Steve Carrillo, I pick winners. Bottom line, you with me, you go to the top. I'm a winner. I pick winners. All my bets are great bets. I don't make bad bets. You look at my track record. I've had the Northeast Wrestling Tag Team Champions. I've had not one but two Northeast Wrestling World Heavyweight Champions. I've had the King of Bethany. I've had the winners of Battle Royals. I've had everything. I am the benchmark. I am the road that takes you to the top. And as long as you stay with me and you stay loyal, the top is where you stay. But the minute you cross me, or the minute I can't trust you anymore, your fate is like that of the Warbeard. Your fate is that of a Randy Shawn. Your fate is that of the Battle Brothers, who maybe weren't as loyal as we had once thought, and now they're on their way down. But the one constant...
Showtime, if I can add to that, please.
The one constant is I am on top.
I know you're a man of wisdom, but I just want to add to the fact that, Steve Quito, you're forgetting a very important part of the whole wrestling operation. You see, wrestling is about making money. All these guys can come out and tell you how much they love them. Oh, I love the fans, this, that, the other thing, blah, blah, blah. I spent years of my life trying to get fans to cheer me. You know where it got me? Absolutely nowhere. Wrestling is about making money. And when you're with Showtime Stevie Stamos, you're making the bucks. He just said it himself. He doesn't make bad bets. So everybody wants to know, oh, Brian Anthony, why did you go with Showtime Stevie Stamos? Why did you turn your back on all the Northeast Wrestling fans? I'll tell you exactly why I did it. To make money. Because with Showtime in my corner, he's the insurance policy. I don't lose. When I have that belt, I'm in the main event. They're paying me the big bucks, and I have no interest in leaving Showtime Stevie Stamos behind and running off to Japan or running off to Mexico or flying all over the country, telling the world how great I am because I can do 100 flips. My interest is being right here at home so I can come home every night to my beautiful wife after I beat up Eddie Edwards or Jeff Hardy or TK O'Brien or Matt Taven or Warbeard Hansen or whoever it may be. And that, Steve Quito, is why Showtime Stevie Stamos and Brian Anthony are on top of the world in Northeast Wrestling. Because I have no interest in going anywhere. And as long as I'm here, that belt is staying with us.
Definitely.
And that's true. And as Brian said, he doesn't want to go anywhere. But I don't have to worry about that because if Brian Anthony were to go somewhere, if Brian Anthony were to go to Japan or Mexico or any other wrestling promotion, there's no doubt that I'd be right there with him. There's no doubt my phone would ring.
You better believe it.
Definitely.
That's it. You know, some people, I'm not gonna name names, but Warbeard Hansen, for example, likes to go to Japan. He likes to go to Ring of Honor. He likes to do his thing. My phone never rang. The only time my phone rang is when he wanted to be the King of Bethany, when he wanted to hold that Northeast Wrestling Heavyweight title, when he was worried about something coming up in NEW. That's when my phone rang, and it was pretty clear. Well, they named streets after people like him, and those streets are called One Way. All right, Brian Anthony, like he said, he's my friend. He's the one man in this business that I call a friend. And I never have to worry because when wrestling's over, when Northeast Wrestling's over, when everything's over, Brian Anthony and I will still be friends.
Now, Brian, you know, the Northeast wrestling landscape has changed over the years. You know, a lot of guys have come and gone, but now that you're back at the top with the championship, what do you have to say for some of these guys that are going to be coming after you? Because especially on the 12th for the King of Bethany, TKO Ryan and Warbeard are fighting for that number one contendership for that championship. So what do you have to say about those guys and maybe anybody else who's in the line for that championship match with you?
Well, the first thing I have to say is I resent the fact that you say that I'm back on top, because quite frankly, I never left the top. You see, even when I wasn't the Northeast Wrestling Champion, all these idiots that come out to the show and pay their hard-earned money and pay my salary love to sit in the crowd and chant Indy Cena. And you know what? I never took offense to it, because maybe I am Indy Cena. Should I really be offended by that compliment? Should I be offended by the fact that the fans are comparing me to a guy that's made millions upon millions of dollars being at the top of his profession for the past decade? No. The answer, Steve Quito, is no. I've always been on top, and I'll always be on top. Okay. This next year will be my 10th anniversary in Northeast Wrestling, and you're right, the landscape has changed. So whether it's the Jason Blades of old, the Jeff Stars of old, all the guys who have come and gone, there's one constant. and that's me. So whether you're TK O'Ryan, whether you're Flip Gordon, whether you're Keith Youngblood, I don't really care. Because much like I've watched all those other guys come and go, I'm going to watch these guys come and go. And that, my friend, is a fact.
All right. Now, the King of Bethany tournament's going to be happening on the 12th, but you don't have a championship match that night. I believe there's a championship celebration in store for you?
Well, I'll let Showtime tell you all about the championship.
Well, I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Like I said, when you're with me and you're at the top, nothing, and I mean nothing, is too nice. Nothing is too expensive. So I've gone to great lengths, Steve Credo, to put on a magnificent, triumphant, glorious championship celebration fit for the only 3-time heavyweight champion in the history of Northeast Wrestling. I'm not going to get into specifics. I'm not going to blow all the surprises, but let's just say the fans need to be there because this is the one nice thing I will ever do for them. And Brian, it's not only my pleasure, but my honor, my friend. This is going to be a glorious celebration, and I know you're going to love it.
I'm breaking out the finest lime green duds. I'm shining the belt up. I'm going to wear it proud because Steve Credo, Northeast Wrestling, and its fans deserve the greatest celebration in its illustrious 20-plus year history. And Showtime Stevie Stamos and Brian Anthony are going to give it to him at the Northeast Wrestling Arena on November 12th. I guarantee you.
All right, guys. Well, once again, it's Saturday, November 5th at 7 p.m. at the Waterbury PAL building in Waterbury, Connecticut. It's going to be Brian Anthony with Showtime Stevie Stamos versus Eddie Edwards in a title versus title match. The Northeast Wrestling Championship versus the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Brian, any last words for Eddie Edwards?
I guess the last thing I want to say is a quote one of our presidential candidates, Eddie Edwards. After this Saturday, the only thing Dixie Carter is going to need to worry about involving TNA is how to spell my name and my address on my paycheck. Like I said, to quote one of our presidential candidates, believe me.
Well, if I could just add, Steve Credo, if I were to grade your performance today as a journalist, it's about a 6. All right?
Okay.
You should probably work on that because this is the champion of Northeast Wrestling, the only 3-time heavyweight champion of Northeast Wrestling. I was expecting some better questions, but I guess that's what we get.